welcome to my channel. My name is Eve. This is Everyday Artist, and welcome. And this is Rogue. Say hi, Rogue. Say hi. She doesn't want to. No. Okay, you don't have to. No. I'm here to talk to you about my stitching. I had one granny square made, and I put it away, and I was just like, I can't reach it. I'll show it to you next week. I didn't do a lot of crochet because I was enjoying my cross stitch, and I've also been just really tired. It's been kind of some interesting days. So I do WIPGO, and on WIPGO I do a new start and a whip, which I hope I put in my stack. Yes, I did. So my new start for April was, let's try putting this right side up. No, I had it right the first time. Beach Quaker by Primrose Cottage, and I started on the top left, and here's where I got. I was really loving working on this. I didn't want to put it down. I did. I eventually did, but I was just really loving working on it. And I was getting into kind of a groove with it, and then I said, I have to do other things. So I put it down, and I don't know when I'll be picking it back up. We'll see. Now, one of my March goals was to work on the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe by Stitching Book Club, which is Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. And I'm on this bottom area here. And I had wanted to get more of it done, but I was working on Beach Quaker, no, I didn't work on that until later. I was working on other projects, and so I just was like, okay. I wasn't working on Beach Quaker because I didn't start that till April 1st. So here's the whole piece. And here's what I was working on. And when I started, I had one color of yellow in the light when I started from the last time we saw it. And I don't know if I had the blue on there or not. And I had one color of yellow down here and not even the whole part of it, and I did that. And I'm not sure if I had the tree in there or not last time, but I got the yellow put on there. There's other different colors on here. And I extended this down. I've got the green part done, and this is more than one color going down, so it makes those blends look cool. And down here is something similar to what's going on, what happened up here, where you have some colors finishing the whole, more than one color finishing the whole lines and the pattern, just like here. So, and here. I don't know when I'll be picking this up again, but I was enjoying working on that. And then I did put in, not as much as I wanted to, because I was working on cross stitch, and I was like, oh yeah, I have to work on that. And some days I just didn't do it at all. So now I wanted to use up some of this color, so it's way over here, and I put just some French knots in there for whatever color I decide here. And of course I can't remember what that stitch is called. Where this uses French knots, lazy daisies, and this stitch, satin stitch. It takes up a lot of thread, so I ran out of thread, and I just said I'm done with this for today. But I just love this project. I just keep forgetting to pick it up because, you know, it's not on my radar as much as I want it to be. And I'm just choosing what color of blue to put where. There's no pattern. I didn't show you the pattern, did I? Well, here it is. That's what it's supposed to look like when it's done. Now the WIPGO piece that I was supposed to be working on for April is Pueblo Pottery number 2, and I'm working on this one, which is, they call it the flute player. It's Crocodile, and I have worked on it 4 out of 5 days. Today will be the 5th day. And all I have to do is fill in white. And you can barely see the difference with the white. But I think it brings out the red. So I'll go ahead and fill that in. I love these. They're little. It looks like I'm taking a long time to finish one project, but it's because I haven't called it finished, even though this one's about to be finished. I haven't called it finished because I have 2 other pots to do. And I'm like, do I want to do them? Do I want to call this finished? I want to call it finished just to get it off of my whips, but I like the pots. That's why I bought the pattern. I haven't made a lot of progress with CrazzyStitch We Do Geek. I don't work on it a long time every day, but I do try to carve out at least 15 minutes a day to work on it. And here's where I am. I was gonna, after I finish the thread off over here, I was going to start back over here and meet up because it's easier to go this way. Except, I can't hang that right. Except, I was afraid it wouldn't meet up right. So I went ahead and said, no, the way I count, I would come and it would crash into each other. So, no, I went ahead. I'm going to go ahead and go backwards the whole way. So. Someone reminded me that I could sew a little piece of fabric down here and border it with that, and so I can go really close to the bottom. And I hadn't been really thinking about that. So thank you very much. I appreciate all the comments I get, all the hints and helpful suggestions. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm gonna be less panicked about that. Okay, so we have had a very interesting weather this year. It's super hot for March. Not super hot for Phoenix, but super hot for March. And then it got cooler. And then today it's kind of cloudy and it might rain. Strange. But as we see, I finished off March almost all the same color except for the very last day, which was a different color. And then the first few days of April, see, it got cooler. Then it started warming up again. And then we had another hot day, and then it was cooling off today. And I understand other parts of the country are having wild weather too. Hot, then cold, then freezing, then hot, you know. And I understand over where Stitching with the Housewives is. And I know where they live, but I just can't remember. That there was a tornado that theoretically touched down, and there was a lot of torrential rains and stuff. So I'm glad I don't live in tornado country anymore, or hurricane country anymore. Here we just have heat and dust storms. I'll take that. Although you don't get the beautiful spring flowers either, so yeah. There's something to be said about, there's something beautiful about everywhere people choose to live, don't you think? You know, you never drive through an area and know what it's like, but if you visit, then you can know why people live there. There's something beautiful everywhere, and it's interesting to see how the residents work with the environment that they live in. Like here, when it's really hot in the summers, we have misters. And there's one shopping center that as you're walking in to the shopping area, they have little jets of water that shoot up. Now you don't have to walk through that. You can go around it, but the kids love it. You know, they can just run through the water jets. And we have splash pads that are free, that you can go and they have water shooting up and stuff like that. It's not a swimming pool. It's just what it sounds like, a splash pad. Water shoots up from the ground, and you can run through it and get wet and cool off. The misters are a lot of shopping centers run them along the top of the building, and they just have a gentle mist of water coming down, so when you walk in or out, it just cools your body. It's just different things that we do they want people to want to go out of their air-conditioned house and go shopping. Okay, enough of the weather. So I started this last week, I think. I got it. It's a free pattern from Nashville, sent to me by Stephanie with Just Keep Stitching Co. And this is Erica Michaels, the America Berry. And I tried working on it yesterday because I said I'm only going to work on it on Sundays. Unless it's getting really close to the end, and then I might choose to work on it other days. But I tried working on it yesterday, and I kept having to take out my stitches, and I just was like, okay, I'm not feeling it. I was really tired yesterday. I hope you guys had a great Easter. Another little tangent. Our Easter was, we went to sunrise service at church. My sister and I went to sunrise service. So our church is not close. It's a good half hour to 45 minutes drive, and that's the closest one of our. We go to a Baptist church, a Southern Baptist church. There's another Baptist church, but it's not Southern Baptist, and and so it's not close. It's not typically far as other things are, you know. So we had to get up at 4:30 in order to make it there by 6 o'clock. But it was a beautiful service. And I couldn't realize why I couldn't function. I could not, by the time I was doing this, I was like, I can't see the holes. I can't get everything right. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going on a few hours sleep all day because I didn't nap. I try not to nap because I have trouble sleeping at night. And if I nap, I won't sleep at night at all. So I was trying not to nap, and so by the end of the day, I was like fading. It's like I'm just gonna sit and watch TV until it's time to go to bed. And then of course I went and laid in bed and couldn't go to sleep right away anyway. So I heard about Flosstube Frenzy from Stitching Mommy, and I didn't ever go to her site, the person who thought of it. I just kept doing it. So I don't know, and I wrote it down in my notes of who thought of it, and I didn't look at my notes before we started. So I don't know if anybody else is still doing it, but I decided it was a good way to touch several projects, at least for one day, for a short time a day. And I had told myself 2 lengths of thread or 30 minutes. It ends up being about 30 minutes and whatever I do in that time. So this is TinyModernist Cute Crocodile, and I don't do it like anybody else because this isn't a Flosstube. It's a sheriff's video. I work on this when I watch Fridays with Frank, and that is about 5 minutes long, so I do it more than the video. But it's something I watch every week. That's why I put it on. I'm getting there. I need to put leaves on these flowers. I need to finish his face. It's almost done. I need to finish his face. That's his nostrils. There's a flower that goes here, and there's some flowers in here. Now, the white flowers are really hard to see, even in person. And these mushrooms have white stems. I'm thinking about backstitching around the stems, but the white flowers I might just leave as is. We'll see. I should have changed the color to something else, but I needed white for the eye and for other things, so I just left it. And now I'm like, but you like this flower, you can't really see the flower part around it. So I could backstitch around those with yellow or something, and I might do that because it has a lot of backstitching. So, and I'm getting there. Now, when Just Keep Stitching airs, I work on Americana Blues. This is a Erica Michaels pattern, and I'm doing the pillow, not the berry. And this is where I am. I went to put this stitches in and realized that I had this bottom part completely wrong. It wasn't wrong in that the stitches were not the right, how do I put it? Stitches were too big, I guess, and I'm like, why won't this fit in here the way it's supposed to? there were big gaps that aren't supposed to be there, and I was like, I'm just going to put in the blue ones and then I'll put in the bottom parts. So, and I think that is a function of vision. I think that I need to wear more than just my reading glasses to see that. This little glitter, it's beautiful, but it makes it hard to see the holes. When Helen D airs a video, I work on, there's a hare in my garden, because she's the first person I started doing berries with. And I had to take out the third bunny again. So it looks like I have gone backwards, but now the bunny is in the right place. Their little noses almost meet. Over here, there's going to be some back stitching of whiskers, and I have to do back stitching on all the carrots, and I've gotten most of the back stitching done on the leaves on this side. I still have the back stitching on the leaves on that side, so, and then there's a whole row of leaves up on top, so there's a lot left to do. But I work on this when I go with my sister to take her to orchestra rehearsal. That is ending later this month for the summer. So I'm going to have to just work on it at home. Oh, I didn't pull out Murder in the Garden. I'll get it. Just give me a break here. Give me a minute. I work on that on Tuesdays too. So here is Stitching with the Housewives Silent Night. I work on this when the Runner Stitcher puts a video out. And I finished the night, and I started on the snowflake, and then I'm going back in and putting shiny stuff on the snowflakes. So that is, I know it's double stitching, and I could use the blending filament while I was stitching it, but then I wouldn't be able to like come down and do the S, or go back out. I'd have to do just the after I quit filming because of the dogs, I forgot to turn the camera back on, and I'm talking and talking and talking. So here's take 2. I have no idea what I said before, but I remember I was talking about Silent Night and the fact that I stitch with the filament afterward on the snowflakes only. And that's so that I can continue down with the white. Now, if the only white I'm working on is for snow, of course I blend it at the same time. So there's going to be a lot of snowflakes on the bottom too. And my sisters have convinced me that I need to do the bottom as well. So there's snowflakes down here that I haven't done, and these big snowflakes. So with those, yes, I will stitch the filament at the same time. So, okay, that's Silent Night by Stitching with the Housewives. And then on Saturdays, when Stitching with the Housewives, there's a video I work on, and To All a Good Night. And I am working on this blue house. And I'm getting there. Not as quickly as I would like, not as quickly as I did before, but I'm getting there. This is on fabric that I dyed myself, 14 count fabric I dyed myself. when Stitching Mommy airs a video, I pick up Heaven and Earth Designs Mini Snowman Snuggles. And this is where I am right now. So I don't have the picture of where I was before, but I extended a lot of stuff down this way and a little bit this way. You can kind of see the picture starting to take shape there. That's all my stitching. Oh no, Murder in the Garden. I work on this on Tuesdays as well, and then on Saturdays when we're showing our video, filming our video. This is Murder in the Garden by Hands On Design. Did I say the berry was by Hands On Design? And this is where I am. On Saturday I put light green in here, and on Tuesday I was working down here in the dark green. And it's slowly taking shape. And I have Loose on the Goose in this bag too. I promised myself that I would not start Loose on the Goose until one of these two, either the berry or Murder in the Garden, is finished, because I'm going to try to be better from now until I don't know when, to not start all the things, to have less whips going so I can get more progress on the whips I have. Says the person surrounded by whips. And that's not even my crochet whips. I have all of my granny squares that need to be done. So I received my package from Just Keep Stitching Co. And look, it says mail call. I think that was brilliant of her to make a sticker that said that. And then she has a little Beneath the Waves sticker, because what I bought from her was the Beneath the Waves threads. And I'm itching to start those projects, but I'm going to hold off for a while. But in the same bag, I got all of these free patterns. Not all of them have a picture, but those that do, I'll show you the picture. This is from Boomerang Stitches. This went in my thread stash so that I can start it. See if I can get it to focus. Maybe if I put my face over here. And it's a raccoon in presents. I love the raccoon she did in the pumpkin, stealing candy. And this is Chris Mooseberry by the Mindful Needle. Not Chris Mooseberry. Merry Christmas. I have a Christmas berry. This is the small design. This went in my thread stash already. This one huzzah, is by, I'm sorry, I'm showing part of the pattern, is by Rum Street Samplers. And then there's a Silver Creek Samplers called Precious in His Sight. Anyone who welcomes a small child such as this in my name also does the same to me, and it's Jesus with a Small Child. And then Freedom Angel. It's an angel with the word freedom underneath, and she's holding a flag. But the flag isn't stitched, the flag is a button. And then Bloom and Breathe, which looks like lungs, but also a flower. I don't really understand it. Vintage Stitching 2, it's 200. You remember Vintage Stitching Spot 2 by October House. And it is just a whole bunch of stitching things and like lights and just stuff like that, thread bobbins. It's kind of cool. This one is by Barana, and it is a bee in a flower tree. It's a big bee and then a whole bunch of little bees. This one is Patriotic Pincushion Humbug Finish by Jeanette Douglas Designs. That's pretty, huh? I'm stitching 3 patriotic things, so I'm not going to put this on my, but it does say 250 down below. I'm not going to put this down till I get some progress on the ones I've already started. But that is everything. And I hope you guys are having, a great beginning of April. And happy stitching.